Good afternoon. My name is Michael Christensen. I'm the director of the not-for-profit organization called Go Unite. In today's video, I will be continuing something I started last week, which is the sharing of different sections of an article that I've been working on called The Humanoid Robot and the Future of Work. Today, I'll be reviewing the second section of this article. And importantly, the reason why I'm doing this video series is to promote our petition to stop Elon Musk or Tesla or any company from releasing humanoid robots. Before I begin, I do want to thank Reynola Dominguez, who is a friend and collaborator and has helped me form a number of the ideas that I'll be reviewing today, and also throughout this series. I hope I do them some justice. Okay, so with that, I'll try to begin here. So I think that there would be two predictable dilemmas that would arise if we make the humanoid robot and similar types of technologies essential to our economy. And both of these dilemmas would result in our being economically obsolete and would therefore heavily inform the nature of work going forward. The first dilemma is that I think that we would see a general trend of lessening intelligence among the human populace. One of the reasons why I suspect this, there are a number of reasons, but one of the reasons why I suspect this is because of an article that I read recently that was exploring the same topic. And this article offered up research that suggested that when human beings heavily rely upon these types of advanced technologies, it has the effect of rewiring our brains, and in particular, it rewires our brains to become more proficient at task delegation, as opposed to, say, task completion, or knowing what type of task to tackle in the first place. So the article didn't suggest that that was necessarily resulting in our being unintelligent. That's what I would infer from that research, because it seems to me that if we are actively training our minds to become more proficient at task delegation at the expense of task completion, or knowing what type of task we should be tackling in the first place, and that furthermore our tools are becoming more effective at taking on our tasks, then all of that in the sum total would be disastrous for our practical intelligence. And there are some assumptions there, but I still stand by that. The second dilemma, which is similar to this first dilemma, is that I think that we would see a total separation between physical effort and the obtaining of something necessary for our survival. So what I mean by this, I think in order to understand what I mean by this, I need to kind of paint a picture of where we're at in our human society. So if we take as broad a possible view of humanity, and we look at the evolution of human cultures from, say, the hunter-gatherer tribe all the way up to our global interconnected metropolis, whatever you want to call it, each technological achievement that has enabled one form of human culture to evolve into the next has had the effect of adding more degrees of separation between human effort and the obtaining of something necessary to survive. So to provide a further example of that, say that you are in a hunter-gatherer tribe and you're a hunter and you're out hunting and you kill a deer. Well, then you get the meat of that deer. And so your physical effort was the hunt, and the obtaining of something, or the thing necessary for your survival, was the meat. And so the hunt and getting the meat was kind of this holistic process that was integrated, and the payment was intrinsic to some extent in the effort. But then you look again at the where we've gotten with our technology now, and there are many, many degrees of separation between the physical effort that we exert and the obtaining of something that we need to survive. So I guess the example that I'll use for that would be, the people that cultivate our meat in the feedlots. They produce more meat than any individual in that system could eat in 100 lifetimes, but they are not paid in meat after they cultivate it. They are paid with money, and that money is a product of yet another institution. And all this to say, there are many more degrees of separation between physical effort and the obtaining of something necessary for survival, like food, shelter, water, that sort of thing. So this to say, with the humanoid robot and similar types of tools, I think we would see a total separation between any physical effort that we could manifest and the result of something necessary to our survival. So, we can debate whether that's a good or bad thing, but all of that combined with the hypothesized, I guess you could say, lack of intelligence that would result from our reliance upon these tools would result in our being economically obsolete. So here I want to say that being economically obsolete does not mean that we would have nothing to do. Many of us could fill our time quite effectively without the constraints of having to work to survive. The concern is what types of systems are created in order to manage a population that are not economically relevant. Because in a world like what I think we would obtain with a fully automated economy, the only real way that we could be relevant from an economic vantage point would be if we were somehow maneuvering ourselves up a farcical bureaucracy that was vaguely managing these tools, or if we were proactively trying to dismantle the system in a sort of destructive way. But otherwise, we would be totally pointless from an essential vantage point. And so even our best attempts to fill our time would be hard-pressed to overcome the fallout of those arbitrary systems being created to monitor itself. That I think hopefully that somewhat describes what I think the concerns would be. A degradation of our intelligence and a separation of physical effort from the result of, or from obtaining something necessary to our survival. In next week's video, I will go over some possible solutions that we might install to avoid some of these dilemmas. Hopefully that made somewhat of sense. What I just said didn't make any sense. Thank you if you got this far, and I look forward to seeing you next week. All right, bye.